This is my co-host Justin, and we're happy to be back. This is our favorite time of the week. I know
Yes,
it's mine.
sir.
So I'm gonna go ahead and share this mug, and we can get us started.
Same here. That's what I'm doing. I'm sharing.
I feel like it's been a minute since we did it, but we only missed like a week.
I know we had things going on last week. Couldn't make it happen. That's all right. That's all right.
It's gonna be a
So
fun conversation tonight.
yeah. So you have shared with me over the last few days that you've got some things you need to get off your chest. I'm ready to hear it. I have my
Yes.
crash outs. Let's see if Cullen's gonna have his.
I wouldn't say a crash out. It's more of just a. I'm gonna shake my head at folks.
All
It's
right.
annoying. All right. Should we give it just a minute, and then I guess we can kind of just chit chat here for just a second. Let
All right.
people. We have one person. I don't know if that's you or not, but
I think that's probably me.
you're on Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay. I just sent that. I'll send this. Ooh, I just realized my phone's not on. Silent. Um, Man, it's been a long day. I didn't finish working until freaking 5 on the dot.
Understood.
So, all right, I'll give you about 30 more seconds, then we can go ahead and get started. Just so we don't sit here staring at the screen for too long. Am I coming in okay still?
Yeah, you're good. I can still hear
Okay.
Milo in the
You still
background
hear
every now and
Milo?
then. Every now and
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
Hey
Oh, we're
man,
good.
you got a toddler. It's all good. It's
Yeah, he's just
understandable.
gonna be part of the show. He's just gonna be part of the show.
Let's get into it, man. People will pop in when they pop in.
All right. So tonight we have something interesting to talk about. A little bit controversial, as you could say. It can also be a very sensitive subject when it comes to America. And the question of the day is red versus blue. Who do we choose? What are your thoughts? What are your opinions? And what I mean by red and blue, if you don't know, Republican versus Democrat. Uh, some people would say Christian versus non-Christian, but I don't 100% agree with that.
Depends on the situation,
Yeah,
but there's definitely a
it
large
rises.
group. There's a large portion on both sides that say that if you're not on this side, you can't call yourself a Christian.
Exactly. And so we're going to get into that tonight. And then also, we're going to get into. Oh,
Somebody
my
said
aunt
hello.
is on.
What up, Aunt Chandra?
Hello. Hello, how are you? Hope you're doing good. Um, we're also going to get into the most recent controversy of Mr. Donald J. Trump posting himself as Jesus on social media. So, does Trump think he's Jesus? That's going to be another one of our topics. Not topic. It's going to be mixed into.
I
I'm going
can't
to
wait to
mix
hear
them
what you got to
into.
say about that.
I'm going to mix it into one thing. So, where should I start? Republican versus Democrat. Hmm. Thank you. I'm glad you love the show. My mom's here as well.
Hey, Miss Tanya, what's going on? I heard you got a T-shirt, Miss Tanya.
Nah, you got the t-shirt. I was just playing. She ain't got one. Hey, where your
Oh,
t-shirt at, by the way?
I got a T-shirt to give you, Miss Tanya.
Where your t-shirt at? Yeah, you supposed to be wearing it.
I ain't wearing that. If I do wear it, I'm wearing it inside out.
Okay, well, where is it at?
Pull up the picture. I know you got it.
Ah,
I have to
I
walk
do
upstairs and
have
get
it.
it. I ain't walking upstairs.
Okay. Everybody, I got Justin a late birthday present.
Late or early? My birthday's in December. Could go either way.
It's late.
Oh, okay. It's late for
I'm
the
gonna say
last
late.
birthday.
Yeah, late for the last birthday. I got you again this year. And we got something nice coming for Derek. Dang, where is it? Has it been that long since I sent it?
I don't know. It was like Saturday or
I feel like it was
Friday.
just.
I feel like it was a week
I
ago.
found it. I found it. All right, y'all. I'm gonna share this beautiful.
I can't stand you. I can't stand you, bro.
I'm gonna share this amazing present that I got for Justin. So y'all let the world see. He's asked for it all year, and I finally said, "Fine, I'll give it to you." So why is it making me doing this? I'm using a new browser, and so it's making me.
Hey, while you're looking for that, I need to handle something real quick. I'm gonna mute myself.
Yes, sir. Oh, it's making me. It's gonna ask me to restart. I can't share it, guys. But I wish I could throw it in the chat. That would be great. Justin will be right back. So. I hope she likes your gift too that you gave to your neighbors. I wonder if he's going to get the shirt. That'd be cool if he's going to get it. I don't know where he's going. So he just left me up here by myself. Very rude.
Leave.
Oh,
I didn't
there he
leave.
is.
I told you I needed to handle something really quick.
Oh,
My bad.
Oh,
I mean,
I
I
guess
could have
that's
just
true.
muted it, but I figured y'all didn't want to see me making a business call real quick.
your job called you?
My job did not call me, but there's something from my job that required my attention for a few minutes or for a quick minute.
Oh, he said. She said, "Don't hide the gift now."
I guess I need. Hang on. I'm gonna go upstairs and grab the gift. Hang on.
Yeah, it won't let me share because I'm on a new browser.
All right.
so
I'll be
I
back.
need to close
I'll be
the-
back. Y'all give me 1 minute.
Okay, run. We don't want to leave the people in anticipation. Man, I feel like I could be able to share it. I wonder if I upload it here. Oh, it will not let me. I guess we'll see. Oh yeah, I got it. Oh man, it won't let me. Oh well. I guess we'll see it in person. I think he's coming back, y'all. No, don't you dare.
Huh?
Don't you dare send no baby pictures of me.
Yeah. Send me a baby pic, please.
Don't you dare send no baby pictures. All right, here's the reveal.
Y'all take a look
of
at this
Justin's-
nonsense. This is some nonsense.
Why did you put it on?
I ain't wearing this mess. Watch this. Whoop.
The family's doing good. Milo's doing good. Yes, Milo is screaming in the background. Christian is up there with him alone, so she's doing her best to keep him quiet. But he is almost 3 years old now at this point. He's crying about something now. So, but yeah, Justin loved his gift on
Yeah, ridiculous is
on
right.
Saturday. I didn't tell him I was getting it. I just let it come to him in the mail, and then he opened it as a good surprise.
Yeah, I see a package
But-
for myself on the kitchen counter, and I'm like, what is this? I'm thinking maybe sometimes when you order things off of, may it be TikTok or Temu or wherever, they take so long to show up. Maybe you forget. I was like, did I order something that I forgot about? I open it up and I see it. I'm like, literally the first words that came out of my mouth after I saw it was, I hate Cullen so much. It is a gift from a real friend, though. You are right. You are right.
For y'all who don't know, that was a little bit that I had made for Justin back on like episode 7, and so I let it flash across the screen a little briefly, and so ever since then it's been an ongoing fun joke between the group chat of ours. But alrighty. Alrighty, well, let's get to our topic. Should I go first, Justin, or should you go first?
Nah, you go first. You started out. This is something that you've been wanting to talk about, so you go first.
Not really. It's more of the second thing than the first thing. The first thing I was trying to figure out how to make that into like a whole thing, and so, but
red versus blue, or the elephant versus the donkey, or Republican versus Democrat, or conservative versus liberal. I've said this many times. I'm definitely the type of person that I think majority of people are, which is someone who sits in the middle but leans one direction on the majority of topics, but isn't opposed to every topic on the other side. And that's kind of how and that's who I am. I definitely lean majority towards the right on most things. It doesn't mean that I despise every liberal point of view. I think the biggest difference right now, though, is that, in my opinion, I think the majority of liberals focus too heavy on social issues as opposed to things that will actually move our country forward as a world superpower.
Yeah, and then I feel like one could say, well, we live in a society right now that, of course, we're a two-party system. I wish it was different. I wish there was that third party that we could have a third option for, because
don't get me wrong, we do have other parties, but they definitely
but they
don't have a big enough footprint to make an impact.
Yeah, and so that's what I mean. I mean, basically, we're in a two-party system because there are other parties. They got the Green Party, the Libertarian Party, and all that other stuff. Mm-hmm. But I wish there was like a third option.
It's seriously going to take an independent that is so charismatic that it just shakes the entire foundation of everything. That's what it's going to take. And it's, in 2016, I think Trump could have been that independent. Or, 2016, that was when he first was elected in. But he received pressure to pick a party, and he went with the Republican Party. But he did so in a way, a lot of people don't know this, but he did so in a way that, like, he forced the Republican Party's hand. He said, I will be your representative, but if at any given time I feel like you guys are going against me, I will pull from the party, rerun as an independent, and split your vote and guarantee a Democratic win. So until we can get to a point where an independent shakes the core foundation of our party system, I don't think that we'll ever be out of a two-party system. The only other way to get us out of a two-party system would be some sort of legitimate economic collapse.
Yeah. Because I hate. Hold on one second. Okay. I think she got him. He threw me off for a second. You said the only way that you could see us having leaving the two-party system if it's a collapse. I can see that as well. I wish that us as a people, I can't see it happening because, one, we're so different, like mindsets. There's two different mindsets to it, and it's hard to bring two different minds together to form,
Well, it doesn't help when one side opposes things just because a single individual thought it was a good idea.
This is very true. I mean, you got to look at
Yes,
both.
Chandra,
Yeah,
that's right. It will hurt some either way.
there's no way that somebody is not going to not get what they want. Like somebody's going to end up,
Well, I mean, that's the definition of
restricted
compromise,
in something.
right? Definition of compromise, an outcome that both sides can live with, but neither side is really happy.
Yeah, and I really, and it's very hard, especially if you're a Christian person,
Hmm.
because you end up having to compromise on stuff, some stuff that I feel like is absolute no, you can't compromise on. For me, I I'm trying to make sure I say things in a way that don't kind of come across uh, a certain way. But there's truly, and honestly, there's no Christian party. It's either you're a Christian and you kind of have to find the values of which you see through a lens through the Bible that the policies will reflect.
And let's be
And
clear, you, there's never going to be a perfect option for that.
no,
There's there's the option that you pray about and discern about, and you think this is the closest as we're going to get at the moment. And then there's the option that is the one that's going to be the opposite of that. I
yeah,
don't think it's really I hate to say this, but unfortunately, again, because of the two-party system, sometimes it really is choosing the lesser of the two evils, and that really
yeah,
sucks.
and
You
even
know, again, I've
you,
said
yeah,
this to you the other day. Like, I'm not like so super pro Trump. I'm not. But if the options were him, Kanye West, and Kamala Harris during the last election, I went with who I thought would at least bring the most value to my bank account because I didn't have the privilege to vote on social issues.
and I feel like either way that you like in the last few years, I mean, well, I guess last couple elections, either way you went, it would have been a different type of hard. And
Yeah.
so you got the whole Trump Joe Biden kind of thing. You know, one Trump's personality is nasty. He he don't have the best personality as we have seen uh, over the years of his presidency. He he he's not very in tune with people's emotions. He doesn't really care about people's emotions, which in a way that's good.
He doesn't care
And
about people's emotions, but I don't think it's accurate to say he's not in tune.
I
I
don't think he's
think he
heartless or anything else like that.
Mm, I,
But
I don't think he's heartless, but I think at the same time he is heartless. I think he absolutely knows what the public is thinking. I think he knows that he's not going to run again, and
he don't care.
he keeps himself in the news. He keeps himself relevant.
Yeah,
He's playing the presidency the same way a celebrity would play the game of keeping themselves relevant. I don't always agree with it, but he knows exactly what to do just to rage bait people, and he does it.
yeah, he does. I mean, he does
At
that a
this
lot on
point, he's strictly
socials.
doing it for entertainment because he knows people out there. He knows there are people out there that would deny the cure for cancer because he found it, if that were to
It's
happen.
very true. There are some
So
people.
he's
There's a
just
lot of
he's
people
just out
that,
there toying with these guys.
and I think he kind of proved that a little bit on the State of the Union address whenever he said, "If you agree to put Americans first, stand up." And it was kind of a bait thing just to show that hey, they just don't like me because of who I am. And then no matter what good he does, good or bad, and they're just not going to do it because it came out of his mouth. And then
Right.
I also hate on the flip side, Republicans that do that to Democratic leaders. So like when
Yeah.
Joe Biden was in presidency, people were wanting him to fail, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no, bro.
I
I'm like,
disagree with that. Yeah. I
We
agree with
don't
you.
need our president to fail. Like us as a country,
The only thing I
I,
will
I
say is we have to, one thing we have to agree upon in order for that to work though is we have to agree that whether we agree with the methods of the president or not, we have to agree on the fact that his intentions are in the right place, or her intentions. There, we could have a female president one
yeah,
day, but we have to agree that their intentions are to move our country forward. They just have different ideas on how to do that.
yeah,
So, you know, but when you're at a point where you're literally denying the good someone has done
yeah.
just because you don't like the person, that's when we really have an issue. Um,
But I feel like it reflects where we are as a society, though, at the moment. Because I
yeah.
mean, you,
Social media has really moved our country backwards, I think. I think we had way less racism in the 80s and the 90s. At least it was quieter anyway. And I think at some point in time, because it was quieter, it would have fizzled out. But because of social media, it it's gotten a voice again.
well, Satan uses everything as a tool, and so
Absolutely.
if he wants to spew more hatred, what is the best and fastest way to spew hatred? And it's through the internet.
Through the
So
internet. It
now
don't even have to be real.
no,
I was
yeah, we
watching
do.
I was watching that one dude, what's his name, Dr. Umar or whatever.
Oh
You know what
yeah,
I'm talking? Yeah.
freaking
I,
yeah,
and,
dude.
and I noticed something about him, and it's a common tactic for people like him. If you speak things loudly, boldly, and with hand motions, like you're trying to make a specific point,
Mhm.
people will believe you without sources, without context, without anything. It
Yeah,
is a public speaking tactic, and people like Dr. Umar use it perfectly.
yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about, and I know how the way he speaks. He does definitely. He tries to speak with assertiveness, and
Yes.
whenever you speak with assertiveness and you use big words, people tend to lean and listen to you, and that goes both ways as well.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
Because I don't want to get it twisted. Like people leaning left speak more like this, and people leaning right. People like do it just as much. They'll spew a lot of nonsense out their
No,
mouth
I
and don't mean
listen, as a
nothing.
public speaker, Dr. Umar is phenomenal. I've heard him speak on things that I didn't disagree with. It's just when
Yeah,
he gets on certain topics, it's like, come on, dude, you're stretching, but you're stretching in a way that people don't realize you're stretching. If
yeah,
if if anybody halfway lacks the ability to not think for themselves, they're just gonna be like, "Yay, that dude's on to something. Facts. He's spitting." You know what I mean? Like,
yep,
and they're just gonna listen to it and follow it blindly. So, and I think part of that biblically is why the Bible says that ministers will be judged more harshly,
hmm,
because there will be people that follow us just because of our title. There will be people that follow us just because we have the ability to speak in a way that is charismatic and will and will attract the masses, right? So if we
yep,
are dishonest or ingenuine when we are on that platform, we absolutely should be judged more harshly.
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you see pastors nowadays, all these prosperity gospel pastors, these big mega church, and not all the mega churches, of course, are corrupt and everything. But you see some of these pastors that are leading people astray, and they definitely will be judged um, more harshly
Yeah, and there's this
for
new
it.
sect of Christianity. I'm gonna put Christianity in quotes out there that is now telling people that Jesus did not die on the cross for our sins, and
I
that
saw that.
the
I
whole
saw that
idea
pastor
of a
say
blood
that.
sacrifice is lunacy. And
Yeah,
I was like, this dude is spreading
I saw that pastor. I was scrolling on
falsities.
Friday, last Friday, and I saw him. I saw him say that. He was like, "It just don't make sense." So that's kind of crazy
Yeah.
to say, and I mean that's the whole point.
He tried to say that blood
So
sacrifice was something man made and that nowhere in the Bible
yeah,
does God ask people to sacrifice a lamb or a goat or a sheep. And I'm like, well, that's not
literally,
true.
literally in the story of Abraham, he provided a lamb to be slain,
Exactly. He
a
provided
spotless
not a
lamb.
lamb, but a ram.
Yeah,
So, I mean, obviously, there was something to it. The point of sacrifice wasn't the blood. It was about sacrificing the best of what you had.
Yeah.
It was like it was an early form of tithing in a way.
And I mean, and it was never enough, and they had to do it
It took
over and
it took a
over.
perfect spotless man to be the sacrificial lamb for all humans.
Yeah, and I also think that story is really cool when you see the parallels between that and Abraham and the mountain in which he went on. I don't know if you done
Yeah,
research behind that.
it's not proven, but all of the
Yeah.
evidence points that where Jesus was sacrificed on Golgotha was the same
This-
area. Not I don't know about the
Yeah.
exact same spot, but the same mountain, the same
location. Yeah.
vicinity as where Abraham would have built that altar for Isaac.
Yep, I saw that. I was doing that research about that last week, and then I was listening to some podcasts and stuff about it.
But
and I
hey,
saw
God's
that. I
pretty
was like, that's so
amazing.
cool.
It could have been the exact same spot. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't doubt him. I wouldn't put it past him. He is cool and funny like that. So,
Yep.
but yeah, one of the big questions though of the night, to get back over to the red versus blue,
Yeah.
is as a Christian, which side should you go with? And is there no side that you should go with, or should you not vote? And that is the question of
Me
the youth I've
personally.
heard.
Me personally, I just want to put this out there. If you do not vote, then you need to keep your mouth shut.
That is a strong opinion.
It is. If you do not vote, then you need to
gonna
keep
clip
your
that.
mouth shut.
That's
Period.
fair.
If
As
you do
somebody-
not, I'm just gonna say it. If you do not have the balls to cast your vote in one direction or the other, do not complain when something happens later, because you had
Yes.
your chance to have your voice heard. It might not be loud, and it might be one vote amongst 7 billion, but that is your voice.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So,
I 100% agree with
If
that.
you do not vote, keep your mouth shut. Number one.
We need to
number
put
two.
that on a t-shirt.
Yeah. Number two, I'm not going to say Christians should vote Republican, and I'm not going to say Christians should vote Democrat. I think it should be on a case by case basis, because every election is different. At least one of the two people running are different every election,
Yeah.
and you have to let God tug on your heart, and you have to discern what is the best option for that moment.
Absolutely. And there could be a Democratic candidate that comes up and he holds the same values and things that I agree with, and I would vote for that person, regardless if he was a
Sure
Democrat or Republican.
Sure
But
would.
then also you see there could be a Republican that has something completely against what I believe. And I'm like, no, bro, you're the worst of the two evils. And so, can't go with you. And so if you look back throughout history, it's been, for the most part, stagnant. I mean, at first it was flipped. I think the party flipped at a certain
That's
point.
a myth. The party never switched.
That was a
That's
myth? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was verified or anything, but I had heard that before, but I never
That's
really
a
looked
myth.
into it. But
That's something
Yeah.
we can talk about one day. I have the details on it, but it's a myth.
okay, did not know that. I'll definitely have to look into that. But yeah, I agree with you as a Christian that you should not set it based off of party. You should not you should set it based on the candidates and what what you believe in, and what you as you research through scripture. What does scripture say about this certain topic? What does your candidate stand for on this topic? And
Right.
even then, candidates be lying.
Yeah.
So you got to learn politicians are not your friend. They're not truthful all the time. And really, they're in it to get social status and power. And so, and you've seen that.
My
Not
honest
everybody.
opinion on Trump and the current administration that we have is, I I do believe that his goal is to it really is America first. I do believe that he absolutely intends to put America back on the track to be the true most powerful nation in the country. But at that same time, do I think he's necessarily for the little man like you and me? I'm gonna say no. At the end of the day, he's still just another
He should
billionaire.
have been. I feel like he's more for the upper class, like people who are making a lot of money, business owners and stuff like that. It's more aimed towards that. And I mean, I think he wants us little guys to get there, but I think people in that position forget how it is to be a little guy.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
like they forget what it's like to make less than $100,000 a year. And I believe that for my opinions based on Republican Democrat, I believe the Republicans, they want the general statement, they want everybody to work for what they have, but they forget that some people need help and they struggle. And I feel like Democratic issues, they focus more on let's help everybody, even but at the expense of people who are hardworking and make money. Uh, like if you make a lot of money, the more money they're gonna take from you. Basically, is what I'm saying.
Right.
And they are like, let's help everybody, and that's good in a sense. We're supposed to help everybody. We're supposed to help help the widows, the orphans. Help our neighbors, immigrants, or whatever. That's a whole nother. We already had that conversation about immigration and stuff, but they're like, let's take from those people, and then let's give it to them. In which, in a certain way, you're supposed to give. Like God calls us to be giving and to take care of it. But
I don't think that it should be strictly capitalism, and I don't think it should be strictly socialism. I do think there should be. I don't like using the term government enforced, but I do think there should be some sort of tax that we pay that will benefit the less fortunate, the people that actually need it. But unfortunately, our country has gotten to a spot where people have learned to take advantage of that system.
Oh yeah, they use the system.
The answer is not to give them more money. The answer is to figure out a way for them to generate their own money. May it be through a regular W-2 job or through self-employment. Now it also doesn't help that people who try to be entrepreneurs and get things started, it's hard because our current tax situation is pretty tough on the small business owner.
Absolutely, dude. I mean, and then that's where I mean by like, I feel like the Republicans want us to do things like that, but they forget how hard it is to start to do that.
Now, I will say this: I did hear. I don't know how accurate it is, but I'm pretty sure that there is some people on the Republican side of the aisle that is trying to push to end the federal income tax, because we didn't have federal income tax until I think it was. I can't remember when, but it was like the early to mid 1900s when the income tax, the federal income tax situation started. And I believe that the Republicans are trying to get rid of that and use a tariff system, which I think would be phenomenal. We would still have to file to prove income, but there would be no more income tax taken out of our paychecks, no more income tax. I mean, it already works on the state level. Mississippi just did away with state income tax, or at least they're on the verge of doing it. Tennessee doesn't have state income tax. I think Florida does not have state income tax. So we know it can work on the state level, and if it works on the small scale, it will work on the large scale.
Mississippi, they got rid of theirs, but theirs are fading off. They said, I think it's like a fade off of like 10 years though.
Yeah, it's a phase out situation. Yes.
Yeah. Chandra said, do either of you know his childhood or his parents and what they stood for? I don't remember.
Who were they? Who was she referring to? Trump?
I think Trump. I'm not sure about his parents or anything. What he stood for.
I'm not sure about Trump's parents. I know Trump's father was also a very rich individual and gave him his first loan to start his first business. I do know that.
Yeah.
That's about all I know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure his parents shaped of who he became to be as well. So that's probably a good thing.
He's definitely a shrewd businessman. I will give him that. He's a shrewd businessman. And, say what you want about the guy, but if he makes a threat, he will back it up.
Yeah. And part of that, part of that, he scares me a little bit with that.
Yeah.
One, I know he's trying to make it so where, like, I mean, the last 4 years before him, uh, we were looked at as, I guess, quote unquote, what Kim Jong Un. No, it was Russia. What's his name? Putin
Putin.
called him a weak dog.
Yeah.
He said a weak old dog. The United States is weak, and
Yeah.
that's what we've looked like for the last 4 years before then. And now he's trying to kind of prove that we're, you know,
He's
we
definitely
ain't
put us
somewhere
in a
to push
better
around.
position. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
definitely put us in a
like,
better position to stand our ground with things. And
yeah, like,
this whole Iran thing, like I've I've done some deeper looking into it. It's not all it's not necessarily what it seemed on the surface.
mm-hmm.
This was all about China, and because Russia really isn't our biggest threat anymore. It hasn't been for a
No,
while. China has been the biggest threat to the global economy, to us, to everything. And, with the Venezuela move, he kicked China out of our hemisphere. And now with this Iran stuff, he has forced China to alter some other things that they do. So, though I don't like the initial gas spike that this is causing, this is actually, if everything goes according to plan, will put us back into a situation where gas is under $2.
they just opened the Strait of Hormuz this morning,
Yes.
so it'll be open for the next 5 days until they can come to a clear understanding. But they still have a barricade at the beginning saying no Iranian ships can get through,
That's correct.
but
A
everybody else
blockade,
can
yes.
go through.
That's correct.
Um,
But he didn't he
part of
didn't do
me,
that until a lot of countries were already more than halfway to our shores to purchase oil from us.
yeah, no, yeah.
And that's what's going
Um,
to cause our initial gas spike. I know it seems like, oh, we're making more money, but it's going to decrease our supply, which is going to increase demand, which increases the cost.
yeah,
And that will be an initial situation, and we will have to deal with it. And there's going to be a lot of people mad, but give it a few weeks to a month or so, and it will
man, it
balance
sucks,
back out.
bro. I was filling my car up at first, my Subaru. I was filling that mug up for $32 now. Yeah, I filled it up yesterday. It's freaking like $56. I'm like, God, dog.
Yeah.
Luckily, I don't drive nowhere with it really until the weekends. I drop Milo off in the mornings, but other than that, Christian pretty much drives a Hyundai to work, so that's really good on gas mileage. But even then, that's starting to creep into the 40s now. But I guess with Trump, the whole trying to show we're big and bad thing scares me a little bit. In the fact of, everybody's scared of a barking dog, but at a certain point, people are finna get sick of the loudest dog in the room
What's crazy is, we
growling.
talk about left and right. Trump basically said at 6 p.m. on this day, we're going to blow up all of your infrastructure, your bridges, your power plants, everything,
Mm-hmm.
unless a deal can be made. And the entire left side of the aisle was like condemning him for that. Well, um, Iran came to the table and said, "Okay, let's talk, let's make a deal." So Trump didn't do it, and then
Mm-hmm.
Trump didn't do it, and then immediately the Democrats were saying, "Oh, he backed down like a weakling, and he didn't follow through and all this other stuff." I'm like, y'all were the ones saying he shouldn't do it,
Yeah, and
and that's just further proof. Like, it doesn't matter what he does; he could give them what they
yeah,
want, and they're still gonna find something to complain about.
and I think part of that though comes from his personality. I mean, part of it with the people, I should say, comes with it for his personality. But there's some of it that's his policy that just they don't agree with.
Yep.
Of course, like the LGBT community, the stance on abortion, giving it back to the states to decide, things like that. So there's people that disagree with him on that level. But then there's also people who just don't like him as a person. I know like few people that just don't like Trump just because the way he speaks to people. And
Yo, I like Aunt
yeah,
Chandra. I like Aunt Chandra, bro. You can come on the show
yeah,
anytime. Anytime.
yeah,
She my kind of people, I
basically.
can tell.
Trump is not a politician. That's why he speaks the way he speaks. and he kind of
Yes.
speaks in a way that the people understand. But
Yep.
not people aren't used. Some people aren't used to that, especially in Congress and stuff.
Hmm.
Whenever I think it was one of his, and then he'd be out of pocket sometimes when he'd be talking.
Oh,
Uh,
absolutely.
he'll be like
He absolutely
talking in a
unpredictable. You're
debate, and he'd
right.
be like, "Your mama's ugly though," and then
Oh,
he'll say something,
straight up in the middle. Your mom's a hoe, and then just back up like he did say.
and I'm like, "Bro." And I mean, like, of course, we laugh and stuff like that, but also people are used to a certain type of person to talk,
You
and
want to know
then
what's wild? Trump would not have won in 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 2024 had it not been for the black vote. And I'm gonna tell you that's just point blank period. Now, three-quarters of the way through the Biden administration, there was already this small pocket of people in the black community that were starting to veer off towards towards Trump. Uh, but
yeah, I saw the
I
polls.
right, but when there was really a big flip for the black community towards the Trump was probably the time when the Democrats least expected it. When the Democrats posted
Yeah.
Trump's mugshot on social media,
But
yo,
see, that's very sad that that came to the
the
turning
the
point of
black
like,
community literally was like, "Oh, he a real one."
and see,
Like,
like,
and
I
it
saw
flipped.
all the TikTok posts about that saying he's a, I forgot what they said about him, but I saw like all the TikTok trends about him and his mugshot. And then when they, I think, oh, what was that? What else it was there?
Oh, and
I think that,
when they
yeah, they
shot him,
shot him. Yeah, yeah, that's
that
what I meant.
solidified his victory.
I'm like, bro,
And there were even people on CNN saying it. They were like, this photo right here, the one with Trump's ears bloody and his arm was up. He had all the
I
people
was like,
around him.
y'all just gave it to him at that
This
point.
dude on CNN said this just solidified his win in the election.
Yeah.
Everybody at that point in time, everybody knew it.
And then I think what put the nail in the coffin is when they asked Kamala Harris, would you do anything differently than Joe Biden in the last 4 years? And she's like, no, I don't think I would. And
Yeah.
literally, I was like, nail in the coffin. I said,
Hmm.
everybody was ready for that old dude to get out of here. Um, yeah, Trump is definitely free. And when, leaders control, they'll definitely sell out. He is definitely a wild card. You never know what's going to come out of his mouth. And we
Yeah.
never know what's going to come out of his social media, as we have seen recently.
Yeah, about that. Why don't you go ahead and tell us about this meme that Trump posted and then immediately deleted?
Uh, so we got a meme here on, what was it, like
Do you
Monday?
have it to show?
No, it won't let me even show my screen because I'm on a new browser. It's asking me to close the browser and open it back up.
Oh, I
So
thought you had it pre-uploaded and ready.
no, I did not. That's my
Tisk,
fault.
tisk, tisk.
It's asking. It says you can share, but it's I have to close the window, so I'm
It's all
not
right.
trying to
Don't worry
end the
about it.
live. But yeah, Trump posted a meme and it depicted himself of Jesus and or a doctor, as he would like to say. Yeah, I personally believe a man's lead as well. But when I can't say that if the right lady came that would do better than the dude. I don't
Listen,
know.
I'm
I
open
don't.
to anything. I'm open to anything. Before Candace
I don't.
Owens started going cuckoo cuckoo during the Biden administration, I thought she would have been a perfect Republican presidential candidate. But then
I,
she kind of went cuckoo.
yeah, she.
She is really
Yeah,
trying to
that's a
convince the
whole
world that
nother.
Erica Kirk had her husband assassinated. Like she is
She got
doubling,
some. Did
tripling,
you see some of
quadrupling
the?
down.
You see some of
I
the evidence
did.
though.
No. I did. But then there's also some of it that's just hearsay, and she's posting it like it was
Yeah,
true. And it's like, dude, if you're gonna be a journalist, and I respect the fact that you're citing your sources, but your sources still have to be
yeah,
like valid and accurate.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, if it turns out to be true, I will hail her as a champion for making sure the people knew. But
yeah.
you got to do it the right way.
Yeah.
When you start
But
making yourself look crazy, that's when you start losing your audience.
yeah. But back to the whole meme thing.
Yeah.
So Trump shared a post of quote unquote himself as Jesus, or quote unquote, as he said, uh, a doctor healing people, and there was backlash from both sides of it. I actually made a post about it uh, on Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. And I said, a lot of people out here getting mad at this post ain't even Christian themselves.
Oh, I know.
And what I meant by that is there are a lot of people out there who are trying to use it as a I gotcha moment. You know, he is look, I told you he was terrible. And I'm like, one, you're using it as ammo, but you don't even believe in the thing that he's posting. So how can you even say that he's terrible if you don't believe in it?
Well, the reason why they're doing that is because they're trying to plant the early seeds for ensuring a Democratic vote for the next election.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
unfortunately,
absolutely.
the I would say the majority of voters don't think like we do. The majority of voters, even though they do sit in the middle and lean one way or the other, they already have in their mind, I'm 99% chance going to vote this side. Even if I know nothing
Yeah.
about the platforms, I'm just going to vote this side because
Yep.
I know that history says that this side is the side that I've agreed with the most, or this side is the
Yeah.
side that I've agreed with the most. You know,
Yeah.
but regardless of what Trump does right now, he's still the president. Let's say Kamala won. Regardless of what Kamala would be doing right now, there's nothing we can do about it until
Yeah.
the next election. So when the next election comes along, it's just, and this is where our country shifted. There was once a time, and I would say the last time it was like this was probably uh,
Before my
Bush
time.
probably Bush's last election was probably the last time when people had the mindset of, oh, well, we didn't win. We'll try again in 4 years. When the Obama administration started, I believe that is when, because at that point was when it became, if you didn't vote for Obama, you were a racist.
I remember that.
That is when it really started. That's when it started with, if you don't vote this way, then you are an immoral, bigot, hypocrite.
And it's actually funny because he played a part in Kamala Harris's losing as well. Whenever he came up to that school and like freaking ripped the shreds these group of kids, like black young individuals in the workforce, saying y'all are disappointing and y'all got to do better. You're black, you need to be voting for yada yada yada. And then that pretty much also
Yeah,
put a very big nail in the coffin for her. That didn't
it
help
did.
either.
It did. That's one thing I will say that I'm happy about. I think we are finally getting out of the era of of if you don't vote this way, you're an immoral person. I do believe we
Yeah.
are slowly creeping out of that era.
Mm-hmm.
But what I was saying before though was like there was once a time when people would be like, well, the person I wanted to win didn't win. It sucks. We'll just make the best of it and we'll try again in 4 years.
Yep.
You still rooted you were still happy when the president came on the TV or on the radio and he spoke. You didn't,
Yeah.
I remember when George Bush would give his State of the Union addresses and there were things that he would say where the entire room would stand up and clap. And then there were things that he would say where the Republicans would stand up and clap and then the Democrats wouldn't. Okay? That doesn't happen anymore.
No.
When Trump gives his State of the Union address, half of the Democrats don't even show up anymore. And they
Yep.
definitely
Or
don't
they
stand up. He tested it. He was like, if you think, I can't remember exactly what he said, but he made a
he
statement
said
that
if you
was,
put American first, it was about America's first, taking care
yeah.
of
If
Americans.
you think that we should take care of Americans first, stand up. He did it on purpose. He completely made the left look so bad because he knew that they were going to refuse to stand. Um,
Kamala, they could have been.
they could have been. I'm not sure.
Everybody was friends with Trump at a certain point. And then
Yeah.
when he started running, they were like, yeah, we don't like this dude. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
Trump
he
got
wasn't a
pictures with
racist
everybody.
until he started running for president. But you can go back history. I mean, and even now when Jesse Jackson passed away, Jesse Jackson never once said anything negative about Trump.
Yeah.
That's why the media has not really said much about him in the last decade because he refused. He knew Trump was one of his friends, and even Trump acknowledged
Hmm.
that Jesse Jackson was one of his good friends.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, I think we're finally getting out of the era of if you don't vote this way, you're an evil person. At least that's what I
Yeah.
really hope. That's what I like to believe. I do think that there are other things happening in our world that or in our country that is re-sowing seeds of racism that and bigotry that I don't like, and a lot of it has to do with that famous word fatigue. Uh, you know, your I don't want to say normal, but your average straight white Christian conservative is tired of all of the super strong narrative agendas of every other community out there. May it be the Black Lives Matter movement, may it be the transgender movement, may it be Pride Month, may it be any of those things. There is a heavy fatigue, and it's causing people to speak out, and it worries me. I feel like people are trying to speak out a little too loudly just because they're tired of hearing about it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
worried that it's gonna move the world into to move the country into a situation where we are now on the wrong side of this,
Yeah.
and we are gonna become the racist bigots that they have been calling us for the last however long.
Well, we shall see. The
I'm
Lord
not saying you and
said
me
that.
as individuals. I just mean
No, no, no. I know
I
what
just
you're
mean the
talking
right
about.
side of the aisle in general.
Yeah. Well, there's going to be more chaos and turmoil in the world, regardless, because the Lord said it, and it will happen, and we can see it happening around us. Whether the end be 5 years, I mean not 5 years, but 10 years from now, the start of the end be next year, this year. You
Yeah.
never know, but the Lord
What?
said that it's only going to get crazier.
Yeah. Well,
So
one thing's for sure: the Skittleheads got to go.
oh my God. Why do you always do this?
They're the easiest to
I
pick
know
on.
they need love and compassion on
Yeah.
because they're lost. Not all of them, I should say, because there are some, people of the LGBT community who deny themselves and don't take up that, um, take up that sin. They don't allow themselves to dive into that. But there are also some that are loud and proud, of course, as you know, and have seen and have hated against Justin in our podcast as well. So, um, but I wouldn't say that.
Oh, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
I wouldn't say that all of them got to go, but they're definitely pushing in everything that you see. Like you don't see Christianity being pushed like that in movies and stuff like that. Every show you watch, there's somebody who's in the LGBT community, even if it don't make sense. They just throw them in there
Yeah.
for some random,
Just so
and
they
it's
can
starting
say
to,
they're giving representation to that community.
yeah. And I love representation. Like I love watching. Whenever I was growing up watching cartoons, they didn't even have an issue with it back then in our cartoons we were watching. We had Static Shock, we had freaking what is it show? Uh, hey, Rocket Power. We had a bunch of other just shows where it was representation, but it wasn't felt forced, and it
Yeah.
made sense.
What do you think? You remember the series on CW, Supergirl? Did you
Yes.
ever watch Supergirl series?
Yeah, and then they made Alex gay.
Yeah, like halfway through the show, like it's already been like 3 or 4 seasons, and out of nowhere,
Yeah.
they're like they create
Um.
this whole storyline about how she likes women now. And whatever, that's fine, but it was like you obviously forced this into that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I felt the same thing with Stranger Things.
John Jones is an alien, but because his human form was a black man, they created a storyline of where John Jones became a black rights activist, even though his real color is green.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I felt that way
it's
with Stranger Things. Do you watch Stranger Things?
oh, you talking about the whole 30-minute part of
The-
the finale where the Earth couldn't be saved unless what's his name came out of the closet, which everybody already
They
knew.
literally were like, "We're finna save the world. The world, like time is running out. We're sitting in the living room preparing to go." And he's like, "Y'all, I gotta stop everything. We can't go on
I won't be able
unless
to
I
fight
tell
this
you."
battle if I don't tell you the truth now. And I'm just like, make it
I'm
make
like, "This
sense,
is
bro.
random."
Make it make sense, bro. You,
And
do you know how much more they could have put into that final fight scene had they not taken up 30 minutes for that?
yeah, he was just like being
But then
around the
wonder why
bush.
people complain that the final battle seemed rushed and not big enough.
It was ChatGPT as well.
Oh my god.
Have you watched the documentary? And it wasn't a documentary made by was it the Russo brothers who made it?
I don't know if they
No,
made the
not the
documentary.
Russo.
I know they directed the final season.
Okay, yeah. So it wasn't by the Russo brothers. It was by Netflix in retaliation for them rushing to end it. They caught them filming and looking up ChatGPT. How should we end this? And so that's why it's as bad as it is. And
And they
so
still really haven't answered the solid question of where the Demigorgons were. Like in the
that was
final
in
battle, not a
the
single one of them was around. That's where
that
they
was in
come from.
that was in the documentary as well. They were uh, somebody asked there should be something else there, not just him. And then they were like, "That's a good question." And then they just kind of moved on. And you'll have to go watch the documentary. It's really exposing. And Netflix did them dirty, and they
And now
pressed
they brought it
lawsuit
back
against
as an
them.
animated series. Like, bro, like
Yeah,
y'all put a nice little bow on it. You buttoned it up. Why are we doing
yeah.
this again? Because I
Um,
really enjoyed that show. That final episode made me go, it has been like 6 years of this show to
yeah.
end like this. Same as Game of Thrones. We watched Game of Thrones for dang near a decade just for us to go, this is how it ended.
I never seen Game of Thrones, but yeah. How did we get here?
I don't know. Because we just be talking. You got two ADHD
Okay.
fellas that are nerds, but like talking about serious controversial things. But
Yeah.
because we were talking about the pushing narratives with the
Oh, pushing the narratives, yeah,
with the
yeah.
LGBTQ community. I mentioned Supergirl, and then there was
Yeah,
there was another episode. One of the characters in Supergirl was a transgender character played by a transgender actor, but part of the story arc was this trans female character receiving something that only biological women in her family should receive.
What? I don't remember that.
Oh yeah, she got her powers. Her powers are supposed to only go to biological women in her family, and I guess she had like an older sister, and it became this whole storyline of her older sister saying, "You shouldn't receive these powers. I should receive these powers."
Oh wow.
Basically, till they could have the argument of you're not a real girl, and they said, well, she got the power, so she must be a real girl, even though biologically she's not. It was literally a whole transgender narrative push.
Oh wow. Yeah, but see, you see that everywhere. You don't see a Christian push, and if they did, people would complain like crazy.
Christians had to create their own streaming service.
Yeah. Did you see?
It's called what, Angel or something like that?
Yeah, Angel Studios.
Yeah.
But even then, Angel Studios has a lot of Mormon background as well, so it's not 100%. That's one of the reasons why The Chosen left Angel Studios.
And then Lifetime got too far leaning left, so they created the basically a new Lifetime type of station where you can have your Christmas movies that promote, the nuclear family and traditional family dynamic.
Yeah. But okay, we're almost at an hour here, and I know I want to wrap it up with this last thing. I know I didn't get to really speak on it yet. We kind of went on to a tangent, but Trump posting the AI picture.
Yes, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. We let the conversation flow. But yeah, my thoughts on the whole thing. I'm not going to defend something that is outright, blasphemy, but also
it's obviously a little sacrilege. It is.
Yes, but is it purposeful? I don't think he purposely like I think he knew it was Jesus. Like I don't think he. I think the whole doctor thing
I,
is
I
trying
don't
to
think
save
he
face,
meant it in a
sacrilegious way.
disrespectful or sacrilegious way.
I
But
think
I
he thought it
also,
was funny.
yeah, I think he thought it was one of those situations where the comedy of it would take over the offensiveness of it.
Yep, and then it did.
And he
It did
realized
not.
quickly that was not the case. He failed miserably and he deleted it. But Trump doesn't
And one,
apologize for anything, so he found a way to apologize without apologizing, and it's
yeah,
whatever.
I, and then
I don't like it, but what am I supposed to do about it?
and people were like, "Are you not angry at this?" Like I had a conversation with somebody online, and they're like, "Are you not angry?" And I'm like, "No, I wouldn't say I'm angry about it. I'm saying that was stupid. I don't think he should have did that. He needs to get off social media. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not helping his case. It's not going to bring anybody
Well,
together."
one thing for sure, and we talked about this the other day, and this is something that our human brains can't fathom, and a lot of humans can't grasp this at all. It unfortunately, it doesn't matter if it's murder or if it's a little white lie. God sees sin as sin.
Mm-hmm.
Period. There's only one unforgivable sin, and what Trump did wasn't it. There's only one unforgivable sin, and homosexuality isn't it. And by the way, homosexuality in itself is not a sin. It is the act of homosexuality. We cannot
Yeah.
control where our impulses may take us, but when we act on impulses which we know is a sinful nature, is of sinful nature, that is the
Preach.
sin. Hey,
Yep.
I grew up with my own issues with addictions to porn and other things, and sometimes my brain goes in directions I don't want it to, and I have to redirect my thoughts. That's why the Bible says, "Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." You have to transform your mind. God does not
Yeah.
transform your mind. And how do you do it? The moment you get that thought in your head, you have to redirect your thoughts. Thoughts
Yeah.
become
Give
words.
it to God.
That's right. Thoughts become words, and all sin starts with a thought that Satan put in there. You're not responsible for the first thought that goes in your head, because Satan can absolutely put it in your head. Thoughts become words, words become actions, actions become habits, habits determine your character, and your character determines your destination.
Yeah. And so when you get that, we're going on a tangent again, but it's a good tangent. You know, when you get that feeling, that first thought and everything, you have two choices: to act on it, to give it to God, and let God lead your mind in a different way. And so if you get that temptation or anything, you can say, I can act on this, or I can take this and go straight to prayer. And I mean, that's just one thing you could do, and that pretty much.
And people confuse the word temptation. Just because I'm tempted to do something doesn't mean I'm actually considering to do it.
Yeah.
The
No,
Bible
yeah,
says
absolutely.
that the enemy tempted Jesus, right? That
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean he actually thought about it. You
No,
know,
yeah,
for someone to tempt you is for someone to try and persuade you.
yeah, absolutely.
So, and a lot of people think to be tempted means oh, I'm thinking seriously about it, and I'm having to really consider maybe I want to do
Yeah.
this or maybe I don't. And that's not the case. That's not what being tempted is. Being
No.
tempted is someone with the act of trying to persuade you to do something.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes it's easier to resist and everything. If you leave on your own strength, you tend to fail. Is what I've come to realize. Tempted to spend something on something that I shouldn't, and that's the flesh wanting to get what he wants. But then the spirit has to come and say, "Hey, I have to give it to God." What does the spirit say? God saying, "Nah, you don't need to do that right now. You need to wait. You need to be smart with your money, and don't listen to the first thoughts that come into your mind."
That's right. That's right.
But
We're not responsible for the first thought that enters our mind,
yeah,
but we are responsible with what we do with it.
Yep, absolutely. But yeah, the whole thing, just to end this on this note, but the whole thing with Trump, I don't think it was. I don't think Trump thinks he's Jesus.
I don't think he did it maliciously. I really don't.
No,
I think it was
you
a
have to look
stupid
at the
thing to do.
person.
I think it was an
Yeah.
immature thing to do.
Absolutely,
But
and you have to look at his attitude constantly.
but you can go back to his social media all the way to 2015 when he was running for the
He
election in
posts memes.
2016.
He's heavily on TikTok. posting memes and videos and stuff. Sometimes I don't agree with some of the stuff he posts. I think it's ill sensitive.
On the bright side, he
I
posted it
don't-
on Truth Social, and not many people are on Truth Social. The problem
Yeah,
is the
but
few
it's
people
spread
that
like
are on it.
wildfire.
The problem is the few people that are on Truth Social be screenshotting his stuff and posting it on.
Yeah, it's it spread like wildfire. But I don't think it was malicious. I don't think it was intentional to offend. Chris,
Dada. He said it's time to get off, Dada.
no, he finna go get in the bath. But I don't think it was malicious. I don't think it was with ill intent. But I do think it was stupid and a little sacrilegious. He shouldn't do that, and he should learn from that. But social media can get him in trouble, and he needs to realize that. I don't think he has realized that because he posts stupid stuff all the time.
Yes.
I don't think he should be making montage videos of throwing people in the cars and stuff like that. Ice tackling and ramming folks. I think that's a little sensitive, but
Yo, somebody over there been making TikToks of them using like Marvel characters and anime characters.
yes,
to
bro.
depict stuff.
I'm like, dude. I'm like,
Some of it is pure entertainment, bro. Some of it is
some of it's
unadulterated
funny, but then I think
entertainment.
some of it's hilarious, but then some of it's I'm like, man, I don't think you should have posted that. That didn't sit
Or-
right with my.
What
my
about
guys'
right
spirit.
after he got shot, and then a couple days later he goes on that stage to 50
50
Cent's
Cent?
Many Men.
Yeah, that'd be
Many
so
Men.
dumb.
Yo, he a troll, bro. He is a
Yes,
troll.
he
He is
is.
the captain of the Rage Baiters for sure.
But all right, y'all. Thank y'all for sticking with us this long. I think it's just you, Justin, left. Everybody just left like 10 seconds ago.
That's all right. Hey, it's all good, brother. I love
We
you.
had
I'm always grateful
14
for this
people.
time. That's okay.
We had 14 people tonight, so that's pretty
But
good.
we had
All
like
right.
72 comments, so that's pretty good.
Yeah. But we didn't do an intro video because we got rid of that. But we're gonna definitely do an outro video because we just have to
Absolutely.
have. We definitely have to have the song playing. I've been told that it's become iconic and they sing it all the time. So
And by the way, we will be re-recording that, so it will be mine and Cullen's voices you hear on it.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I started writing for that other project, by the way. And,
Thank you.
I got some stuff going for it.
I need to check with Tom to make sure he's good to go.
Yep.
Hopefully, hopefully I can record it before we have a baby. So
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll do
All
it
right.
next
All right.
Sunday.
Yep. Later, bro.
All right. Thanks y'all for listening, and I hope y'all see y'all next week. Let's go.
Look, walk in the room like, who asked? Everybody mad at the truth, I just pass. I don't load the clip, I don't cock it back. I just carry what you ordered in the paper bag. If the mirror got you feeling kinda triggered, ain't my fault that the picture getting bigger. You can hate the words, you can hate the tone, but I ain't pulling nothing, I just read it off the phone. Don't shoot the messenger, we just speak our mind. You could take it, you can leave it, but the message still arrive. Don't shoot the messenger, blame the story, not the scribe. If the truth hit hard, that's pressure, but at least you still alive.